Now this is a blessing. This is so cool. Alright guys, Papa Pepper back once again at the Abundant Harvest Homestead, and today I've actually got a bucket of blessings. I know my last video was about a box of blessings, something that I started where we just kind of ship around this traveling seed bank and box of gifts and kind of homemade, heartfelt, personalized, you know, cool stuff to bless others with. But I was hanging out with some friends yesterday, Shalom Acres, for those of you who know their channel. I told them people miss them. For those of you who don't know their channel, they've got a lot of great older videos, but they haven't been uploading recently. But when I came home, I brought a whole bucket full of blessings because of their generosity. Now, I did drop off some stuff over there too. They just had their 6th child a little bit ago, kind of like us. So they're gardening on a smaller scale this year, so we got some things we'll be giving them in the future, in the upcoming years. But this year they're taking it a little more easy. So I just brought over some Malabar spinach as a gift. But they sent home all sorts of stuff for us. Already in our garden, they've given us muscadine grapes. They've given us golden raspberries. If you guys can see those, these are so delicious. Absolutely amazing. Wow. And a number also of strawberries. So when we harvest our strawberries, when we're eating our raspberries, we think of them and we appreciate the generosity and friendship. But this time, I brought home a number of things, some new things, and then some more of some of the old. Last year I had 3 sections behind me where I wanted to run muscadine grapes. Shalom Acres had given me 3, and at the moment there's only muscadine grapes going in 2 of the sections. In the center here, I couldn't get things to go properly, so I've actually got 2 cuttings here that have some roots on them that I'm going to see if I can't put in this blank spot where I want some muscadine grapes. Then I also have some beautiful, absolutely wonderful thornless blackberries, which is very cool, something we definitely wanted. And if you've seen the plants over there, of course they're not ripe yet, but they are so heavy laden they're going to have an amazing bumper crop of thornless black raspberries this year. Then I also have some more of the strawberries because theirs were just thick and they wanted to thin them anyway, so he said, here, take some out of here and here, thin them out for me, be blessed, enjoy them, and then theirs will refill in. And then I also have a very cool thing called sheep sorrel. I first encountered sheep sorrel up in Wisconsin at a friend's house. I wasn't sure what it was. They just knew it was edible and it was a perennial and it was there every year and we absolutely loved it. Tastes similar to common yellow wood sorrel, which tastes similar to a sour apple Jolly Rancher. Now, the guy who started up the Homesteaders Co-op that we have an online store from, Sage Scrub, who I met on Steemit, I actually did an exchange with them earlier this year and got some seeds for some sheep sorrel, which I've started some. But even like the stuff at Shalom Acres compared to the stuff in Wisconsin looks slightly different, you know. There can be a little bit of diversification even within a certain kind of plant. So I'm not sure if the stuff from the West Coast that I got seeds from is going to be the same stuff that Shalom Acres has. It's probably going to be very similar. They're both called sheep sorrel. I believe they're going to be the same type thing, but there can be variations. So I thought, hey, here's some established plants already. He had them thick. He said they were great and tasty. They just, you know, had too many of them. So he says, sure, absolutely take some. So I'm going to be planting those right now. And, you know, hopefully for years to come. I love a good perennial food-bearing plant because with the effort you invest once, you'll be able to reap a harvest for years to come if all goes according to plan. That's what we're working on today. So in the midst of my gardening experiments and experiences, some of you guys might be wondering, like, that's not a very big batch of strawberries there, or to have just a couple of these golden raspberries in a row that doesn't really go too far doesn't really seem like it'd be enough for your family. And I agree. What I'm doing is, if you actually look around the area I have here, around here, this is part of my property. Part of it's been tamed, part of it's been phased into this raised bed mulched garden. There's a ton of my property, I'll show you a little bit of it, that has not yet reached that state. So what I'm trying to do is to get a number of things established on my property that I have somewhere to draw from. If they are alive and living on my property, and I have a quantity of them that's reproducing, then I can head across sections like this where the sheep and the goats are keeping it down, and eventually work into that. Heading up into that area behind me, there's going to be some much longer rows of things. There's going to be some that, run for, 30, 50 feet or more. I've got a design in my head, some ideas, but the first step for me is to get these things, established and reproducing. These Yasta berries behind me, I could cut and turn into, 50 more. I could have a big, long row of them, a whole different area completely covered, just because of what I've got established. Same thing with so many of my other plants. So that's kind of where I'm at. I just wanted to give a big shout out to Shalom Acres. To me, to be able to walk around my garden and see these different things is absolutely incredible. Right now I can look at, some Bloody Butcher corn or some Mandan Bride corn that I'm growing because of Armadillo Man on Steam It. I can go and look at some moringa from Bob Mills Gardens, or some yacon from Bob Mills Gardens. I can look at some purple sweet potatoes. I've got some both from American Homestead and some from Essayon's Family Garden. I see these plants, they feed my family. They remind me of the people who gave them to me. Fleming Farm on Steam It. I've got some different elderberry growing here because of their family. I've got some different, the big sunflowers, both from Fleming Farm, and then also some from Wholesome Roots. I can walk around my garden, I see these things, and also I'm like, oh right, Shalom Acres, oh right, Essayon's Family Garden, oh right, this person. And I'm able just to look around and see that. Boston Mountain Homestead. I'm looking at some asparagus right now. For the rest of my life, when I look at this garden and what it becomes, what it is becoming, the food that it puts in our belly, I'll be able to think of all those different people who played a role. And even a lot of it is only going to be able because of the time that has been allotted to me, because of even support from people like you watching this stuff. That helps add to the things we need for this family, and grants me the freedom and the opportunity to be able to invest in some of these things with the collected effort of our entire family, for the good of our family. So I often say I don't take that as a small thing. It means a lot to us. So I just love looking around here, love checking this place out, love the different ideas I'm able to get from other people's homesteads and other people's channels and incorporate into my own. And then of course always the blessings and the gifts that I'm able to enjoy. So that's it, guys. A bucket of blessings to follow up my box of blessings. Got a couple of pretty cool projects we're working on in the near future. I'll be doing one on just like 4 simple liquid fertilizer projects you guys can do at home in a short amount of time on your own. Very easy, good stuff for the plants. And then another one where we just talk about some more increased pest control around here, because we don't want to be using just a bunch of synthetic or kind of man-made chemicals to take care of our plants and stuff. We want to have it as pure as we can. So there's some things we're doing to help our plants get off to a good start and beat the bugs, because it's not always easy to do that. So I'll see you guys next time for the Abundant Harvest Homestead. I'm Papa Pepper. Papa out.
As always, I'm Papa Pepper, and I'd like to remind you, don't post for free. If you'd like to be part of a revolution in social media, an economic power to the people where users can actually blog for cryptocurrency, then I'd recommend that you check out steemit.com and join the revolution. Papa out.